Recently BBC made an article about Mariupol, and as always there are almost only lies without any confirmation. Today I will analyze it. I never made such videos before, but now it's time to. Before going to this video, I want to remind you that you are my only sponsors, so if you want to support me, you can do it on Boosty. Link is in the description. The article is demonstrating 3 years old photo from the drama theater, on which you can see house with a clock. Now this place looks a bit different. I'm really interested why they didn't use photo from 1950s. Like, why not? Now let's go to the article itself. It starts with a claim that most of Mariupol is still in ruins, which can be true if you will count Azovstal and sectors with private buildings. Like I said, most of areas with big apartment buildings are already repaired or almost repaired, and most of Mariupol citizens are living there. There are some photos in my Telegram channel, and there is a video from a helicopter, which is covering this part of Mariupol. You can watch it in my shorts. They are repairing the facades of the buildings on the main streets, where they bring cameras to shoot, but around the corner there is rubble and emptiness. It's also not true. In my old videos there are a lot of places that are far away from main streets. Many people still live in half-destroyed apartments with their walls barely standing. It's also manipulation, like how many people? Maybe hundreds, or even 1,000 or 2,000, I don't know. And that's a lot, that's many. But is this 30% of citizens? Or maybe 10%? No, most of residents are living in normal conditions. And I want to remind you that Mariupol has 200,000 of population at least. Then comes a paragraph about brutal siege. Of course, no word about Ukrainian army that used us as a human shield. Nothing new. Few sentences about pro-Russia influencers. I don't know what to say. And the article is saying that BBC spoke with half a dozen people. You mean 6? Yeah, that's a lot. City has 200,000 population at least. And some of the 6 peoples are not even in Mariupol. Escaped from Mariupol, which sounds funny. Ticket on a bus to Rostov costs like $15. Like I'm escaping Mariupol at least once a month. There's a central square, only the buildings there have been reconstructed. Just a blunt lie, like we don't have the satellite images. Of course they are outdated, from 2023, but even there you can see that whole Mariupol is being repaired. And actually the center wasn't the first place to be rebuilt. Russia started to update it much later than the outskirts. They didn't even separate out the dead bodies, they were just loaded onto trucks with the rubble and carried out of the city. One of the most popular takes of Ukrainian propaganda, but no. I interviewed a man who back in 2022 was a volunteer, and he helped people to find their dead relatives. I will just show you this part.
То есть я там выходил куда-то на крышу, ловил связь, копировал списки, кого надо искать, адреса, и потом уже шел. То есть я сразу не мог ни Google карту глянуть, ни Яндекс, я не мог проверить. Ищешь людей, спрашиваешь, где такой-то адрес, приходишь, люди могут уйти, то есть ищешь соседей, спрашиваешь, все ли нормально с людьми, они начинают, кто нас ищет, а ты не можешь сказать, кто, потому что это интернет, то есть именно так. Потом уже, когда стало чуть-чуть полегче, я уже начал именно заниматься поиском, то есть сказали, кто-то погиб где-то там, примерно там, вот, и все, поехал на адрес искать труп. Было такое, что на беспилотники залетали, что в разрушенные дома, то есть там конкретно помню, что микрорайон, стадион полностью снесенный возле Азовсталя, сказали, на 4 этаже в комнате лежит 3 человека, а пройти невозможно, лестниц нет. С беспилотника залетел, посмотрел, да, лежат, забрал беспилотник, пошел, нашел полицию, на тот момент полиция уже патрулировала хорошо. Нашел полицию, полиция сразу же вызвала МЧС там как-то лестницы да, забирали.
Then there is a paragraph about the water shortage, and this is the real problem. But it's hard to talk about it. There is schedule for water supply, people have water half a dozen hours a day, but in some places there are indeed troubles with it, so it might be true. But in my district there is water for 6 hours every day. Same applies to color of water. I also had water like Fanta a few times, but most of the time I just have a normal water. But I can't know for sure that there is no places in Mariupol where only rusty water is flowing. Frequent power cuts. There are power cuts sometimes for a few hours, but not every day and not every week, not even every month. After all, it's because energy system is being updated, so it isn't bad. I can't say about the medicines, but as far as I know, yes, there are some troubles. Nothing interesting about Ukrainian children at school. I finished school in 2023, so I didn't see the new textbooks. And by the way, there are no official persons in Russia who saying that Odessa and Kharkov are already a part of Russia. But there are many patriots who want them to be part of Russia. The paragraph about conversations about important things is okay, there are such lessons, but Ukraine started propaganda lessons much earlier, in 2015 or 2014. But okay. Victory Day. Yes, there was a big celebration and I have video about it. Hundreds of people and cars with Russian and Soviet flags. But it was an initiative from citizens. I personally know many people who were happy to celebrate it. And I also know a woman who wanted to celebrate it in Ukrainian Mariupol a few years ago, but she wasn't allowed. Now in Mariupol no one was forced to do it. You can just stay home or, I don't know, whatever you want to do. Then the authors of the article are writing about the resistance of local people against Russia. First about spraying Ukrainian flag colors on walls. I only saw it in the internet, just as the leaflets Mariupol is Ukraine. However, there are some pro-Ukrainian writings made with marker, and twice more writings like Azov soldiers are jerks. Both types of writings, by the way, are very rare because most of vandals don't care about politics. Now I will talk about the real resistance. You can like Ukraine and hate Russia, speak Ukrainian if you want to. No one will punish you, just be ready that most of people here will consider you a weirdo. But if you are collecting intelligence for the Ukrainian military, soon you will have the real problems. FSB sometimes reports about such people being arrested. And you can get like 10 or 15 years of prison for such actions. What do you want? The country is in war? Or maybe Ukraine is giving medals to people who are sending information about military objects to Russia. So if this guy from article is real, which I really doubt, he can wait for good guys in masks. I will say this again, you can love Ukraine as much as you want, but if you are helping Ukrainian army to target Russian military, you're doomed. And the article is saying, for those still in the city, each day is a challenge. Of course each day is a challenge if you are a saboteur, but like 99.9% of Mariupol citizens aren't. They just, walking, studying and just living their life. Of course article ends by stating that Mariupol must be liberated. Well, you already tried. Also the funny thing about this article is that it's not mentioning the real problems, except water supply. If you are interested to know the truth, you can watch my video about the problems of Mariupol. Cheers!